The wedding guests applauded as the bride smiled for the cameras, convinced she had finally escaped a lifetime of financial uncertainty. She believed she was marrying one of the most successful CEOs in the country, a man whose fortune promised security, peace, and a future free from struggle. But less than 24 hours later, one unexpected stop during a daytime drive revealed a hidden life that shattered everything she thought she knew about her husband. Standing in front of a modest community center filled with laughing children, she watched them run toward the powerful businessman, calling him by a name she had never heard before. In that unforgettable moment, she realized she had not married a liar. She had married a man carrying a secret that had quietly changed thousands of lives. If you believe in kindness, forgiveness, hope, and second chances, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs encouragement today, and subscribe to our channel so our community can continue sharing emotional stories that remind us that love is often found in the most unexpected places. Brenna Calloway had spent most of her life worrying about tomorrow. After losing both parents before finishing college, she became responsible for raising her younger brother, who dreamed of becoming a doctor. Every dollar she earned disappeared into rent, groceries, tuition, and medical bills. She worked tirelessly as an accountant, sacrificing vacations, hobbies, and even friendships simply to keep their small family afloat. Although she believed in love, reality had taught her that stability often mattered just as much as romance. When Brenna met Cedric Holloway at a charity fundraising event, she assumed he was completely different from anyone she had ever known. He carried himself with quiet confidence, listened carefully instead of dominating conversations, and treated every person around him with equal respect regardless of their position. Over the following months they met several times through business events and mutual friends. Cedric never tried to impress her with expensive gifts or luxury. Instead, he remembered small details about her life, asked thoughtful questions about her brother's education, and admired her determination. Eventually he proposed. Brenna accepted with a mixture of affection and practicality. She genuinely cared for Cedric, but she also believed marriage would finally provide the security she had desperately sought for so many years. Their wedding took place on a beautiful spring afternoon beneath clear blue skies. Friends and relatives celebrated what appeared to be the beginning of a perfect future. Cedric seemed sincerely happy, yet Brenna occasionally noticed moments when he quietly drifted into deep thought before smiling again. She assumed he simply felt overwhelmed by such an important day. The following afternoon, while driving toward their honeymoon destination, Cedric unexpectedly turned onto a narrow country road instead of continuing toward the highway. He apologized and explained there was one place he wanted her to see before beginning the next chapter of their lives. Curious but trusting, Brenna agreed. Several minutes later they arrived outside an aging brick building surrounded by gardens, playground equipment, and dozens of children laughing beneath the warm afternoon sun. The moment Cedric stepped from the car, children ran toward him with enormous smiles. Some hugged him. Others proudly showed him school projects and drawings. The volunteers greeted him warmly, calling him Everett instead of Cedric. Brenna stood speechless. Nothing about the scene matched the image of the powerful corporate executive she thought she knew. Inside the community center, framed photographs covered the walls. They showed Cedric planting trees, reading books to children, repairing classrooms, serving meals, and celebrating birthdays with families facing difficult circumstances. The center's director gently explained the truth. Long before becoming a successful CEO, Cedric had grown up in foster care after losing his parents in a tragic accident. The very building where they stood had once been the struggling youth center that offered him safety, education, and hope when he had nowhere else to turn. After building his company, he secretly invested millions into restoring similar centers across the country. Almost no one knew. He intentionally kept every donation anonymous because he never wanted vulnerable families to feel they owed him gratitude. The children called him Everett because that was his middle name, the name he used whenever visiting to avoid media attention. Brenna felt overwhelmed. She had believed his greatest secret might involve hidden wealth, another family, or some painful betrayal. Instead, his secret was extraordinary compassion. Still, one painful question remained inside her heart. Why had he hidden something so beautiful from his own wife? As they walked through the peaceful gardens outside the center, Cedric finally shared the reason. Throughout his business career, countless people pursued friendships, investments, and even romantic relationships because of his public reputation. Over time he found it increasingly difficult to know whether people genuinely cared about him or simply admired his success. The youth centers represented the most personal part of his life. He protected them because they reminded him of the frightened little boy who once believed no one would ever choose him. He admitted he intended to tell Brenna everything after the wedding but wanted her first memories as his wife to involve seeing the truth with her own eyes rather than hearing impressive stories. Brenna quietly realized something difficult about herself. Although she cared deeply for Cedric, part of her decision to marry him had indeed been motivated by financial security. For the first time, she questioned whether she truly deserved someone whose heart remained so generous despite unimaginable hardship. Instead of judging her, Cedric gently reminded her that survival often forces good people to make practical decisions. Wanting stability after years of struggle did not make her selfish. What mattered now was the future they would build together. Those words changed everything. Rather than spending their honeymoon at luxury resorts, Brenna suggested visiting several of the youth centers Cedric quietly supported. Together they painted classrooms, organized libraries, served meals, and listened to children share dreams of becoming teachers, artists, engineers, and doctors. Watching those families reminded Brenna why she had sacrificed so much for her own brother. Hope always grows stronger when someone believes in you. Months later, Brenna left her corporate accounting position to establish a financial education program for young adults leaving foster care. She taught budgeting, career planning, scholarships, and responsible money management, helping hundreds of teenagers prepare for independent lives. Her brother eventually graduated from medical school with honors. During his graduation celebration, he publicly thanked Brenna for sacrificing her own comfort so he could chase his dream. He also thanked Cedric for proving that true wealth is measured not by bank accounts but by lives transformed. Years passed. The youth centers expanded into dozens of communities. Thousands of children discovered opportunities once beyond imagination. Still, Cedric never allowed his name to appear on the buildings. He insisted every center belonged to the children, not to him. One sunny afternoon, while attending a community picnic organized by families whose lives had been changed through the centers, Brenna looked around at laughing children, grateful parents, devoted volunteers, and hopeful graduates returning to mentor younger students. She realized she had entered the marriage searching for financial security. Instead, she discovered emotional wealth beyond anything money could ever purchase. Before we reach the end of this story, we'd love to hear from you. Do you believe true love is built more on honesty, kindness, or sacrifice? Leave a meaningful comment below because your words may encourage someone who is struggling to trust again. As the warm afternoon sunlight covered the gardens with golden light, Brenna watched Cedric kneel beside a little boy helping him plant a young oak tree. She smiled, understanding that the tree perfectly reflected the life they were building together. Strong roots hidden beneath the surface quietly supported everything beautiful above. The greatest treasures are often the ones the world never sees, and the greatest people are often those who do good without asking for recognition. Brenna had married a CEO hoping for stability, but what she truly found was a man whose hidden life taught her that compassion is the richest legacy anyone can leave behind. Together they discovered that the strongest marriages are not built upon wealth or success but upon shared purpose, forgiveness, hope, and hearts willing to serve others. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss another emotional journey. May this story remind us all that the most extraordinary people are often those whose greatest achievements remain hidden behind quiet acts of love and kindness.